What's up, everybody? Wayne Veldsman here from the Journey to Legacy podcast. If you're not familiar with me, if you don't know much about my story, I actually started out in the public relations and communications industry. And shortly after graduating from university, I got a sales job and then another marketing job. And I slowly actually started to teach myself online marketing, everything from advertising on social media platforms to drive more leads to your business or to drive more sales, all the way to website development and working with Google to help you get ranked higher. And so today, as I sit here before you, that is what I specialize in. I actually specialize in helping entrepreneurial minded individuals, whether you're a new entrepreneur or you're a seasoned business owner. I specialize in helping you to develop strategies on how you can reach more of your target audience, more of your customers online, than actually helping to turn them into customers as well. So I'm not here today to talk about that. I'm here today to talk about a topic that I don't share much on, but it's actually very near and dear to my heart. One of my great friends in South Africa actually reached out to me about an amazing opportunity to share all about mental health. I wrote a couple notes down here below in case I'm looking down. That's what I'm looking at, guys. But essentially, this whole video is to raise awareness for mental health, for the importance of it, and hopefully give you guys some actionable tips that you can use or just some real life examples. I'm going to walk you through a little story that actually, it took place over a couple of years. I'm going to condense it down to just right after I graduated university when I was struggling pretty heavily in the mental health space. And it's so unfortunate because I feel that if it was a topic that was more okay to share about, maybe I would have gotten into such a dark place or such a sad place, truly, that I did. And so I'm hoping that by sharing this story, by teaching you how I came through the struggle and how I'm doing so much better and so much stronger on the other end, that it can help you as well, or it can help somebody you know. So that's truly my goal with this. So let's hop right on into it. So, guys, it kind of all started first off in high school. I thought I had attention deficit disorder. I had a lot of problems focusing on tasks at hand or at tests. And so I got tested, and it turns out that I was diagnosed with an anxiety disorder, an anxiety problem where essentially I was consistently and constantly stressing over things not even happening in my life, not normal day stresses, but I was stressing and anxious over other people, over what was happening in their lives, or what might be going good or bad or ugly in their lives. Uh, and so, either way, in high school, I got on some anti anxiety medication, helped me a lot. I was never one really for medication, but taking it and combining it with some exercise as a very active youth really helped put my mind at ease. It helped me to be able to focus. Literally, before getting on this medicine, I couldn't read a single page of a book. I would have to read it 5, 6, 7 times to be able to comprehend it. But I got on this medicine, right? I never told anybody because it was sort of frowned upon. I thought there was something wrong with me. But either way, fast forward about 4 years into the future. So I'm in my last year of university. I was studying communications. I was in a social organization. And sadly, I had stopped taking this anxiety medicine. Stopped taking it because I thought I could control it with just, proper nutrition and exercise. But it wasn't enough. And I sort of was consistently struggling with it as I got to graduation and never actually took a step to right the wrong, right? To get back on medication or to really fix whatever this issue was that I was having, right? Or find out a way to deal with it. So about 6 months after that, I graduate from university and I go into my first job. It was an outside sales job. That's what I called cold canvassing. Essentially, every day I would be given a area code, tons of neighborhoods, and just be told, go to every single business, walk into their door, and try and sell them telephone services. Telecommunication services is what I was selling. So I had no idea who was going to be in the door. I wasn't allowed to prospect. I wasn't allowed to look up who the owner's name was or their phone number, call them beforehand. My job was just to walk right into the business. So, as you can expect, right, walking cold into somebody else's business and trying to sell them something, you're going to get rejected a lot. And I did. Every single day, I would walk into about 40 different businesses. And on a good day, I would make 2 sales. Most days, I would make one. And a lot of days, I would make zero. It was really tough. It was a really, really tough gig. Um, and with it, like I said, came all this rejection. And if you've ever been in sales or if you know anything about it, they say that rejection is part of the game. Don't take it personally. And so I tried it. I tried to do that, and granted, for months on months, it was seemingly fine. But it eventually got to a point where, although my brain was trying to tell me, hey, they're not yelling at you or they're not rejecting you, they're just rejecting these services. I was still taking it very, very hard. And I remember that there were multiple days where I was literally sitting in my car, just crying, just bawling my eyes out because I truly just didn't know what to do. I was working 6 days a week because if you didn't sell, it was like 6 or 7 new accounts every week. You would have to work on Saturdays. So I'd have to work on Saturdays, right? So I had even less time to be able to self reflect and decompress and understand what's going on. The hours that we worked were crazy as well, from 6 a.m. until a lot of days, 7 or 8 p.m. We were working because the sales mentality was if you're not making a sale, stay out, keep getting after it. My personality is very self-driven, very motivated, and so I never wanted to let anybody down, especially not myself. I didn't want to fail. But this hurt me more and more in my mental space because I wasn't recognizing the signs that I was getting more and more both anxious, just more and more sad, more and more depressed. And so, I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert here for this story. It never got to something so intense that I was suicidal or had to get checked in to a mental hospital. But I reached a point where it was the middle of the day and I was just crying in my car that I couldn't handle it. That I literally took out my phone and I searched for the nearest therapist that I could go to. I'm very grateful to say that I have a family that's super supportive that I could talk to. But this was right when I graduated from university and I was supposed to be an adult, right? I was supposed to be able to take care of myself now. And so I didn't even express to my parents or my family the struggles that I was going through. But I reached that point where I just had to go get help. I had to just go to therapists. And, thank goodness I did because I don't know where it could have led to. But either way, went and saw the therapist. We talked it through, and they essentially told me, "Hey, Wayne, you need to decide if this job is really for you, because from what you're telling me, it sounds like this job is hurting you more than it's helping you." Guys, that's a big tip. I'll pause right there for a second. That you need to understand that things in life, although lots of other people are doing it, or even if it's the societal norm that it's supposed to be good for you, right? It's supposed to help you grow. Sometimes it's just not the fact, right? We're all very different. And so you need to do a self diagnosis, self audit almost of your life, and make sure that you're doing things that support you, that help you grow, versus doing things that are actually hurting you, right? That are bringing you down in life. So all of this work was super negative, combined with I just moved to a new city. I didn't know very many people at all, trying to make new friends, going into situations where, we were out at the bars drinking a lot. And so especially on, Saturday nights, we're out, and then Sunday I'd be hungover. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced it, but a lot of times when you're hungover, you feel even more sad, right? Because you get like an endorphin lift while you're out, while you're partying, And then when you're hungover, you go so low. You go below where you were even previously. And so I got to this point either way. And so I talked to the therapist. Thank goodness I did, because it opened up my eyes that, there's probably a better way. Is the answer to get back on anxiety medicine? Was the answer to make sure that I'm exercising more? Was the answer to quit the job that I was in? Was the answer to find another route to go? And I actually, in the end, ended up doing all four. So here's some tips and some strategies for you guys that help me, that can hopefully help you. And it actually took me out of that rut. And I'm so pleased to say that sitting here today, I'm no longer on any medication. I no longer have intense feelings of sadness or anxiety or depression. Um, I'm arguably the happiest I've ever been. And so what I did, first and foremost, I went to the therapist and he helped me get my mind straight just by letting me talk it out. Number two, I got back on anxiety medicine. I had been on it, for the 5 years previous, or on and off the 5 years previous. And for some reason, I thought I could just get off of it on a whim, especially when I was moving to a new city, starting a new job. It was ridiculous. Either way, got on some anxiety medicine. So it's an option for everybody. It's actual disorder where you're, I don't know if it's your serotonin levels or what exactly it is, but it's a chemical imbalance in your brain. It's a lot of times not something you can just simply control. Got back on anxiety medicine. Number three, I actually went ahead and I quit the job. I quit the job because it was hurting me way more than it was helping me. And so I decided to leave. I decided to pursue other avenues. So that's another huge tip, is give yourself an audit, especially if you are afraid to quit a job. One big thing that I actually did is I quit because actually I had a car. And in today's day and age, we have Uber and we have Lyft. And I can't tell what the regulations are where you live, where you're currently watching this video. But for me, it was just my car had to be less than 10 years old. So I was able to sign up for Uber, sign up for Lyft, and it gave me a really nice cushion, that allowance to be able to quit my job on a whim and not have to worry about, am I going to be able to pay my rent? Am I going to be able to buy food? So I quit my job. Next one after that, started exercising a lot. As exercise, people mistake for just being good for your body, right? Just being really to help build up muscle, to look better, to be able to run longer. But exercise actually mostly impacts your brain. It's almost helping to flush blood through your brain, and kind of reset it. I'm putting this at a super dumbed down layman's term. I'm not a doctor at all. But it helps your brain so much and helps you be able to think clearly and get rid of all this stress, all this built up energy, this negative energy. So exercise, I'm a huge, huge, huge proponent. And then last but not least, right after I quit this job, I don't remember if it was a business coach that taught it to me or a book that I read, but I started getting into mindfulness, into meditation. If you're not familiar with mindfulness and meditation, it's essentially just taking a time out from the world and centering yourself on the here and the now. The majority of people, when they meditate, you can listen to a guided meditation. I have tons of apps. There's so many free apps out there, guys, on guided meditation. Go download one right now. I literally use 4 or 5 of them every single week. But I started getting to mindfulness meditation. And so a lot of times it's guided, but for overarching, they just tell you to focus on your breath, right? To just simply think about the sensation of breathing in, how it feels on your nostrils, or how your chest is feeling when you're breathing in, and then to focus on what it's like to breathe out. And essentially just what it does, or what I think mindfulness and meditation does for me, is that it allows me to realize how much I actually am in control of both my physical actions, but also my mind, right? I'm in control, that I can pull myself out of any thought that I'm having, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, whatever direction it's taking me. I'm in control, that I can pull back and focus simply on the right here, the right now, just my breath. And that really taught me, it trained me to be able to control my anxiety, control my emotions more, because I finally understood that I was in control. And so those are the things that I did that really, really helped me. I was in a dark time. Like I said, I've been suffering from anxiety problems for years on years and years. But finally, I sort of found this mix that helps me. And it helped me so much, especially the exercise and the mindfulness meditation pieces of the puzzle. They helped me so much that I was able to get off of that medicine. Because, I like to be very healthy. I like to believe that we can survive and thrive just from what we eat and drink every day and from how we, control ourselves. So I'm happy to say that I don't need to be on medication anymore. But for some people, you need to be on it. You should be on it. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So, guys, I hope the story inspired you a little bit. I hope you learned a little bit of something out of it, or you got a little something out of it. And if you did, or if you think somebody else might, please share it with them. This is my one ask always. If you guys go tune in to the podcast, the Journey of Legacy podcast, you'll notice that that's my one ask is to simply just share the message with someone who might get some value, who might get some help out of it, simply so that we can work together to spread the message and help not just one person in the world, not just a couple people, but billions of people worldwide is what I'm hoping to serve in my lifetime. So I would greatly appreciate the help. Guys, until next time, my name is Wayne Veldsman from the Journey to Legacy podcast. Peace.